I never knew the actual path that God would take me down to say, okay, this is how I'm going to use you. Did not see that full picture in the beginning, but now that I look back at it, it's like, wow, God really did answer that prayer.
Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to tell you about our Legends group. If you are looking to make money online, one of the easiest places to start is selling physical products. Legends Group, there's way more than just Amazon, but we have a lot of Amazon sellers in there. And if you want to learn how to make money online selling physical products, love to have you try out our Legends Group for $1. Just go to amzlegends.com/$, amzlegends.com/$. Today's episode, we're chatting with my friend, Giovanna Lady J. Ellison. She is a pastor's wife. She has a membership coaching program called Thrive 365. She is a one-on-one coach. She is doing amazing things online. I've learned a lot from her over the years. You're going to love this episode with Giovanna Ellison. We met at Dan Miller's. It was a Coaching with Excellence in 2015 or I think it was 16 actually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in oh gosh, I don't remember. I think we were already, I think it might even been early January 2017, but you spoke and I was just like, wow, you're the real deal, and just following you ever since. And how'd you get hooked up with Dan?
Oh my gosh. It's a long story, and it's so funny because I remember it was the year 2014 and I had one of my best friends have passed away. She was only 42, got the cancer diagnosis in October, and she was gone just 2 months later, Ryan, on all days on Christmas Eve.
Gosh.
So I remember I was working my day job at the time as the director of our school. And I remember going to the sanctuary and just praying on my knees and saying, God, I need to help so many more people not die with their song still inside of them. Because Colette, her name was Colette, she would always talk to me about what she wanted to do and how she wanted to write a book one day, how she wanted to get married, how she wanted to do all these things. So long story short, I ended up on Dan's email list. And started listening to his podcast, and he was talking about the event called Coaching with Excellence. And so I said, you know what? I love being able to help people find the song that's inside of them. And so I started reading all of his emails, listening to his shows, and I registered for Coaching with Excellence in April of 2014. And that was when I first met him.
Wow. And then you went through, did he have a coaching mastery program at the time?
He did. He had a coaching mastery program at the time. I signed up on the spot.
Yep.
I just knew. I knew this was the path. And, I believe God gives us that knowing. We can have a confirmation inside. And so that's what I felt. So I signed up there on the spot for coaching mastery and haven't looked back.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know I don't want to hear your story, but this is interesting too. There's so many people out there, and there's a lot of Dan Millers. There's a lot of Ryan Riegers and Giovanna Ellison's, people that are doing awesome work. How did you pick Dan? How do you know of the sea of all these people, Brendon Burchard and all these folks that are doing awesome things that man, I want to follow all of them, but you can't. You can't follow all of them. How do you pick one mentor or two mentors? And I know people go through seasons too, where you're following this guy for now, go through his stuff. Okay, now next year is this guy.
Right. Oh, that's such a great question. It really boils down to care. And I really felt like Dan has a great ability, and he doesn't just do this for me, but he does it for, I believe, everyone he encounters, but that is to make people feel seen, heard, and understood. And I remember when I first went to Coaching with Excellence, I just really felt that. I mean, he was like, wow, you had this VIP, because I had my first VIP day before I came to Coaching with Excellence. So I just jumped in full, with the whole coaching thing before I went to Coaching with Excellence. But I felt like our goals were aligned, our values were aligned. And so I believe it's so important that, as high achievers, that we are in alignment with whoever our mentors are. And of course, I learned from others as well. Sure. I've been to Brendon Burchard's conference, amazing as well. But I believe God gives us foundational people in our life. And so he was certainly one of those.
Absolutely. And for me, my story of meeting him is fascinating too, but that's for another episode. But tell me about you. How'd you get started in all of this? And a pastor's wife and everything that you're doing. It blows my mind up. You have a podcast, you've written books.
Yeah.
You got a membership site, a coaching membership program. So, but how'd you get there?
Yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned the pastor's wife bit. I remember, I moved from a little city called Los Angeles to just a little to Montgomery, the birthplace of the civil rights movement. Yep. And there's so much history here. And I knew that when I became a first lady, I didn't want to be the typical first lady. And I wanted to not just, encourage people, but see people take action from what they were taught and what they learned. So I prayed that prayer when I first moved here over 13 years ago.
Did you guys move there for the church, or what caused the move?
Yeah, no, great question. My husband was already here.
Okay.
So he was already here. He had all these churches already. Wow. And so, it was an already established ministry. And then I came in on this new, young, bushy-tailed bride coming in. And it was such a process. And I wrote a few books about it and did a few podcast episodes about it. And actually, the newest project I'm working on is called Thriving Through Transition. So anybody who's going through a significant period of transition, whether it's moving from one state to another, whether it's changing roles, identity roles, whatever it may be, whether it's in your business or your personal life. I've been through transition in several segments. And I think that God has given me something to share with people to help empower them as they go through transition. So it's just quite the journey. And I prayed that prayer over 13 years ago and haven't looked back. I never knew the actual path that God would take me down to say, okay, this is how I'm going to use you to help empower people to thrive. Did not see that full picture in the beginning, but now that I look back at it, it's like, wow, God really did answer that prayer.
Was it 2008 then?
It was 2008. That's exactly right.
Do you remember what month it was?
Ooh.
I moved to Texas in November of 2008. So you said over 13. Mine's been almost 13 that I've been here. So probably earlier in the year.
It had to be either June or July.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. June or July.
That's crazy. I moved from Indiana to Texas in 2008. We moved from California to Montgomery in 2008.
Oh my gosh.
That didn't mean anything. It's just interesting that we've had a transition, and my wife was already here. We weren't married at the time, but we had been dating for a few years before that. Got married in early 2009, but interesting. It's the same transition year for the both of us. So
that's amazing. No wonder we're so aligned.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.